red Protoss from North America. It is DragOn. And spawning top right, as the purple Protoss, we have Zhanhun.
Both players' fingers dancing across the keyboard like majestic spiders right now. Zhanhun over 500. He's like effort. He's going to do in his wrists at this rate machine.
Man, seriously, it kind of feels like that. But there's actually so much to manage with the mineral boosting early on.
Oh, yeah.
I realized that was a big hole in my game that I'm just now finally like starting to correct in the last 6 months.
Finally get it. That was one of your biggest weaknesses. You were such a strong macro Zerg, but you just didn't care about the min-maxing of Zerg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just didn't put the effort in until lately. Yeah. And Rhett's like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
good.
Start boosting your drones. Like, put your pool here. Like, yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're starting to get it, man. I hope it encourages you to come back to the game and start to figure some of these optimizations out.
For sure, man. You been doing it yourself?
Oh, I've been mineral boosting and harping on about it for years in CPL. Like, people were giving me a hard time a little bit for it, like back in the day, and now they're like realizing, oh, Zhan wasn't talking shit, guys.
So we have. Looks like DragOn gonna get away with the first scout. No scout yet from Zhanhun, so that kind of indicates probably a slight eco advantage here for Zhanhun. But I mean, you'll take that information every single time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's a lot of players that do not like scouting in mirror matchups because they understand that, you know, they're losing out on, like, you know, an average of like 60 minerals per minute with having this probe out on the map. So it's a little bit of an investment, but scouting information is so precious in StarCraft. It's more like poker than it is chess. You don't have that complete information like you do on a board of chess. So having this early scouting intel can really help you line up your build with what your opponent's doing, help you set up for the next phase of the game.
So it looks like Zhanhun also going to be getting a scout off. Nothing out of the ordinary from either player here, looks like.
Yeah. Zhanhun inversely going to be doing his own slightly delayed probe scout. And if you're scouting around 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30, I would say that's early enough to get the necessary information depending on the build order you're going through. And both players choosing that one gate tech, which I would say is
oh,
he doesn't get the probe.
He did kill a probe.
Yeah, but
he killed a probe.
He didn't kill the probe back. Yeah, really well played.
That's great. Wow, this is big advantage. Also, Zhanhun invested in that early zealot. Meanwhile, DragOn maximizing probe count. So he's going to catch back up an eco, killed a probe. Oh, he almost got it.
It was at 4 shields, 1 HP, but he didn't get the particle beam connection. Ooh.
Man, DragOn playing like a monster right now. I think we see another building in DragOn's main. Wonder what that, if he's going maybe 2 gate now.
I think 2 gate.
Does get out with the probe. That's always a feels good man.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Well, 2 gate range going to be coming out of DragOn here, and he has the option of going into a 3rd gate if he so chooses. If he sniffs out that Zhanhun wants to be a little bit greedy here, but so far Zhanhun's probably just going to throw down his own 2nd gateway. Yeah, that is.
Might not be a bad call, right? If you just want to set the tone early, open up with a 3 gate. Zhanhun is getting that 2nd gateway, so obviously maybe that's not really the best call here, but definitely a possibility. With the gas he's saving up, it's likely going to be Robo here.
I think so. I think both players are going to go 2 gate Robo, and now the question will be who's going to blink first and take their natural expansion. Then we're going to see some potential fireworks, maybe, who knows.
Well, I said it from the start. My theory is DragOn.
Right.
He's just not afraid, man. Like, he likes to push that eco advantage, and he could be a big bully if he gets away with it. Yeah.
Seems like Zhanhun's going to be a little bit slower behind things. Like, he's made the 2nd gateway a little bit slower, and it looks like he's going to be making this potential Robo slightly slower as well.
So DragOn pushing out on the map here, 4 goons to the 3 and 1 zealot. So this could be advantage DragOn if he commits. Okay. He's got to avoid that zealot. Okay. Actually, oh man, looks like Zhanhun getting the better of the trade there.
Well,
unfortunately,
blocked the goons from being able to get up. Like one goon was standing in the path of the four Dragon's Dragoons, so that they couldn't all get up onto the high ground quick enough to get better trades.
He's got to retreat with this Dragoon as best he can. And actually, this is not good. Zhanhun in a position where he could cut that Dragoon off.
Yeah. This is actually really good for Zhanhun. Like, he's so advantaged right now, and this will make it much harder for Dragon to take that early expansion you were thinking he was going to go for.
Yeah, that's out of the cards, it feels like at this point. Ooh. Another free Dragoon. Yeah.
This is rough. This is really
more
rough.
Damage on the additional 2 Dragoons. Yeah, really, it feels like starting to snowball a bit here for Zhanhun. We see that robotic support bay actually for both players now as well.
And what's interesting is that, like, Zhanhun was so calm and collected in this game. Like, he had a slower second gateway and a slower robo, but he just, like, took the positional advantage of that ridge and just completely abused Dragon in this game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dragon gonna have to do something to start making a comeback here, and it's gonna come down to these skirmishes. Once he gets that first... Yeah,
he's been
first Reaver out. Yeah, but...
Now, Reavers are really bad on ramps, though, so even though there's, like, say, an advantage of having that Reaver slugging it down, trying to push out into expansion, sometimes it can really bug out on that ramp, trying to get Scarabs down there and actually clearing out those goons. And with the advantage of having the goons in the arc... Oh, looks like Dragon's trying to make a move down the bottom of the ramp, though, right now.
Yeah, it does. Oh, okay. Looks like Dragon getting the better focus fire here.
Well, Zhanhun didn't even react to him coming down the ramp. He was just waiting for this Reaver to pop out and didn't even anticipate these Dragoons making a move like this.
I wonder if it was planned by Dragon here.
Well, Zhanhun had the timing down of when this Reaver would be finished and having Scarabs ready. And as we can see, the Scarabs aren't even finished on this Reaver yet. So Zhanhun was just waiting and chilling as far away from the ramp as possible. And I think Dragon knew that, and he was just, like, wanting to make a play. Like, he had a little bit of space given to him and he just seized it.
Nice little skirmish here from Zhanhun, trying to catch that shuttle or at least deal some shield damage to it. Does manage to do so. Listen, this Zealot in the main just being annoying.
He's going to pull that Reaver back, so he's not going to get quite as fast. He gets a probe as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of compensation here for his efforts, but not really what he wants in this game. I would still say, overall, like, neither player is
Zhanhun dropping in the main. Wow.
Yeah, look at this. This could be actually huge right now. If he doesn't have anything here to defend this.
Wow. You never see him take this risk, but yeah, this could be huge. This is exactly what he needs. Oh my!
6 probes just went down, machine. 13! 16! Oh, this is game-ending damage right now. Dragon needs to kill him or lose the game right now.
Yeah, and we already see Zhanhun setting up on his ramp, building some additional buildings. Ooh, nice shot onto the Reaver there.
Yeah, he's going to get the trade-off on this Reaver as well, potentially. Does lose that shuttle, but trading these Reavers is more than enough compensation after killing 16 probes, so it's Zhanhun's game to lose right now. It's so hard for him to lose this game in this position currently.
Oh man, look at those pylons just being annoying. Just preventing the targeting. Oh! Yeah. Whoa, that was close.
Yeah, that shuttle's dangerously low. Just a couple of shots. Ooh, needs to be careful.
Yeah, I'm very shocked he even went in there with that.
Yeah, kill his own pylon as well, so now he can skirmish towards that ramp easier once more. There's quite a few Dragoons here for Dragon. Maybe somehow he can make a play, but no, he's just going to tap out. GG finally called, and Zhanhun going to pick up game number 1 here.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, like, there was no way he was going to recoup the probe count. Like, just, you know, save the mental, go into the next game a little more fresh. But yeah, it was very close, even with Dragon advantage. Started off great, got that probe kill. But yeah, Zhanhun ends up taking it in the end.
Yeah, I think Dragon was just kind of gambling there and just assumed that there was a quick nexus or something out of Zhanhun and wanted to maybe set up to punish that, but inversely got punished by a mirror build. You
hardly ever see like the Reaver counter to the main, right? It feels like such a risk at the higher levels. All it takes is a couple Dragoons to stop that. Suddenly you're down, you know, shuttle a Reaver, but he ends up popping in like a very optimal moment, picking off a bunch of probes, and the rest is history.
Well, I think that delayed robo really came into play. It was almost like Zhanhun had it planned out. Like, he delayed his tech to really throw Dragon off his timing. So, like, Dragon just assumed, okay, I guess it's not robo, and then got punished for it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, we'll have to see, you know, how DragOn chooses to adjust given what we've seen. Let's see here. The next map is going to be Radion, so yet another just large 4-player map. Kind of, you know, very similar to the last game. A lot of high ground bases to hide, I guess, in the center, that 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock bases. So this could be interesting. But with that, both of our players are ready, folks. So let's jump into game number 2 of this best of 5. It's Zhanhun facing off against DragOn on Radion. And spawning bottom right, as the green Protoss, we have Zhanhun. And spawning top left as the red Protoss, once again, we have DragOn.
Yeah, Zhanhun in that pale green trunks right now. Looks pretty good on Protoss, actually. I was thinking about like switching to using pale green. Like, at the moment I'm using white, but I've been contemplating pale green as my next choice of color.
Yeah, you all about the mental color game in Broodwar?
Kind of. I mainly just use it to like signify my different areas. Like after I've taken a break, I come back and switch to a different color kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, if I want to feel like a Slim Zerg, I'll maybe, you know, switch it up and start the picking black. But actually, my go-to color lately has been the light blue. Yeah.
Yeah, so if your Lurker's looking a little bit chubby, you just switch to black. It's more slim.
Yeah, like, you know, you guys clearly you're not going to go on a diet. Just put the black pants on, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's true, man. Black is slimming, so it does make sense.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm over here using white, so like my mutants are looking a little bit chunky.
Yeah. I mean, that could be an advantage too, you know.
Makes them look more intimidating, you know. Just some big boys in the sky flying around.
Some big boys, like, man, how can that even fly? He's got those white pants on.
Just bouncing mutaglaves around in your base all day.
Well, once again, it looks like DragOn opting for the earlier scout. He's done this 2 games in a row now.
Yeah.
Zhanhun with a little bit of a delayed scout, but not by much. And obviously they don't know this, but they're both cross map, so whoever ends up building a Zealot could be a little bit of a disadvantage.
It's such large rush distances, I can't imagine. Unless they really suspect the other guy might attempt a 2-gate, there's just no way that I think you want to make a Zealot first here, right?
I don't know. Is it that much of a rush distance?
It's so much
not
larger.
Horizontally?
Yeah, I guess horizontally is not too bad, but yeah, like vertical and cross is just so much longer than most maps. It's crazy the rush distances on Radion.
For sure. I noticed DragOn scouted horizontally, and I was assuming it's for that reason, but Zhanhun didn't. He just went vertical, so yeah, I don't know. And it's unfortunate because DragOn made the Zealot and Zhanhun didn't.
Well, I like DragOn's scouting pattern more, but I don't necessarily like the decision to go Zealot if you are going to be doing a scouting pattern, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting choices from the players thus far. Maybe Zhanhun's got a better read on the situation here. But trying to get into this probe into the main base is not going to be successful due to that Zealot, at least. So getting a tiny bit of value there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he could be afraid this is, you know, cross-map DTs or something. I don't know. Either way, Zhanhun doesn't strike me as the Protoss that's going to skip out on Robo either way.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think both players are going to go Robo again here. The question will just be, again, which one of them is going to blink first and take the expansion, I think.
Oh, it looks like DragOn. We're actually seeing DragOn pull off gas and some movement at his natural. Also the same for Zhanhun? Yeah, he's only got 1 on gas, 2 gateway, range just about to complete, 3 gateway, never mind. He's going 3 gate.
Wow. That's what I was wondering. I thought he was going to do 3 gate on the last game, but now he's decided to, which is weird because now he's doing it cross map on Radion. So, but the thing is that even though it's not optimal to do these things, sometimes that actually works in your advantage. You see in the ASL, for example, players doing suboptimal things to counter because you just don't suspect that it will come.
What was that? He was about to put a Nexus down and he just changed it and went Templar Archives Forge.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I get I guess he just decided to throw down his tech before the Nexus because he didn't want to mess up any potential timings. But yeah, it's a little strange there because it looked like he was going to throw down the Nexus first before the tech, right?
Yeah, it sure did. Nexus afterwards. I mean, DragOn is not like even trying to pressure. If he did, he'd notice there's just a single Dragoon on the map here. I mean, DragOn needs to go like now. If he went now, he might be able to read this.
Yeah, there's a cannon on the way, and he'll throw down a second cannon to be extra safe. So if he went now, he'd be fighting against like one cannon and a few gateway units, like 2, maybe 3 gateway units. So he'd probably just smash it. But without the goons moving out, because he's just trying to be like, you know, super safe in this matchup, he's actually going to potentially get punished.
Well, he does finally move out. 1 Zealot, 3 Dragoons with 3 more trailing behind. This is just all in, unfortunately. And there's no way to handle the DTs. There's no forge on the way. There's no robo. There's no wall.
Now Zhanhun just needs to not die. Like, as long as he's just gonna tap out. Actually, I was gonna say, like, Zhanhun only just needs to not die, and he could like block DragOn could have blocked like his ramp and try to prevent the DT getting to the main base. But with no forge on the way, no cannon on the way, there's just really no hope of salvaging that game.
Yeah, it would have been tough. Like you said, you could maybe use the rallying Dragoons to hold the ramp, make a forge, get away with a cannon. Because definitely Zhanhun was losing the expo there. He just might not have taken any damage because you could just hold position a DT on the ramp. So, yeah, very quick second game, just unfortunate build order. It's, once again, I was like, oh yeah, at this level, no one goes DT. And then, of course, DT was, you know, the prime counter for game 2 here for Zhanhun.
The 5 as well. I did suspect that we would see a DT at least one of these games, but I also thought the chances were less likely with the 2-player maps out, the rotation.
Yeah, same here. Well, that means next up, map going to be Apocalypse, very standard 3-player map, desert tile set. No ramp leading into the main is definitely the unique feature. Specifically to PvP for this next one, so yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah, and it is a rock paper scissors matchup, so anything can happen. We could see DragOn, like, you know, get 3 games in a row here. It's possible. Yeah,
definitely. How do you like to open on Apocalypse?
Well, I'm a Zerg player, so I mean, if I was playing Protoss, I might consider 2-gate just because I don't know any better. I wouldn't want to risk going 1-gate tech and like just being bad.
What about a Zerg? What do you do in ZVP here?
On ZVP, well, I like Apocalypse for 9-7. If it's gateway first, I would either do 2-hatch Hydra or 4-hatch Hydra. Sorry, 4-hatch before gas, or I would do 9-7-3 with just like 5 Hydra with speed only. If they put the cannons up against the wall and do like a Ling bust behind the Hydras, because like the Ling Hydra bust is really strong on Apocalypse.
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay. Well, looks like both our players are ready to go, folks. So we are down to game 3 here, PvP. Zhanhun versus DragOn on Apocalypse. And spawning top center as the blue Protoss, we have Zhanhun. And bottom left once again as the red Protoss, we have DragOn.
Dragging his feet currently in this matchup, but he's going to try and turn it around now in set number 3.
Yeah, it's time to go. There's, you know, no room for mistakes from this point on. I mean, it's crazy how we got here so quickly with Zhanhun being up 2-0 because DragOn was looking very strong game 1, right? With that probe kill, like definitely had the better control at the start.
Well, I feel like he had a little bit of initial momentum, maybe a lot of confidence going into this matchup, but just lost his footing with that sort of like high ground shenanigans, trying to take that ridge line, and nice little body block from Zhanhun, preventing him from getting that trade. And maybe he just had a little bit of a mental issue after that and kind of like, you know, fell apart a little bit mentally, and now he's struggling to recuperate and, you know, reset himself and taking the rest of the series.
I know that feel, man. Yeah. I think we've all been there.
Relatable, right?
Yeah. So once again, nothing standard. We're seeing the exact same thing, actually, out of DragOn here. Early scout, or right on time, definitely has the earlier scout. Zhanhun I'm guessing opting for this later scout. Yep. There goes the probe.
It seems like Zhanhun's always like doing everything just slightly later than. Sorry, yeah, Zhanhun did everything slightly later than Dragon, but does seem to be a lot more comfortable in navigating the early to mid game stage.
Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of it is, you know, to go back to what you were saying at the start of the series, especially in mirror matchups. You know, it's a big. It can be a big advantage to have the later scout, right? Your eco will just have a small advantage early on. You know, obviously information is very important in this matchup, but what are you really hoping to scout with that? You got to truly think of that. Like, okay, yes, catching 2 proxy gates in the center of the map.
Right.
Great top for a scout, but setting a probe in, seeing a single gateway, their gas range building, it's like, that's kind of what I thought he was going to do. Maybe I could have delayed the scout a little bit. So.
Yeah, this kind of like early game tech is like par for the course. Most players will open 1 gate core in this matchup. It's just, overall it's the superior build if you're really confident in this matchup.
SuGo pointing out that core is not spinning for Dragon. He will be, not going for range this game.
What do you think that's going to be a route? Oh, he's going to get in here.
I wonder if that's a fake, like,
fake range.
he upgrade air, upgrades, or something.
Possible. I mean, I would like to see something like that out of these gamers and try and, like, you know, mess with the heads of each other a little bit. It's best of 5, and if Dragon is going to take this series, he's in it for the long haul. He's going to have to really like think of some tricks and think of ways to like deceive his opponent as well as outplay him.
So it looks like second gateway once again for Zhanhun, Robo for Dragon.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like the Dragon in the back of his mind must be also worried about DTs now for the rest of the series, right? Like just Zhanhun going for DTs 1 time is enough to really like set the tone for the rest of the series, even if Dragon was. And look at this Dragoon's going to get caught out of position, can micro away from this Zealot and punish this Dragoon, but does get a little bit bug out on that Dragoon, takes a few punches from that Zealot. Sideblade's doing some work despite being in an inferior position, does lose that Dragoon though in the end, and with this Dragoon reduced about half HP, this is still advantage Zhanhun right now, and he could put a few more phase disruption shots down onto Dragoons if he wanted to.
Yeah, Zhanhun just definitely getting the better of the early skirmish, like getting another free Dragoon, backing up to like not choosing to re-engage and possibly lose another Dragoon. Yeah. He'll just take his advantage. Robo gets scouted.
Well, it does seem like Zhanhun's just way more comfortable in this matchup, I have to say.
Yeah, he's playing very comfortable. You can see just the way his units are moving, like the fact that he's even attacking here, right? Like he's just not afraid. He's read his opponent properly.
Yeah, he seems to have things mapped out a lot more astutely than Dragon does in terms of like what he could have at what given time and what have you.
Yeah, that's 2 games in a row now that Dragon's, you know, let a Dragoon, the first Dragoon, get caught out in the map, and you know, not like that's easy, right? Just to not lose a Dragoon early on, but oh man, this looks like it could be it actually.
Oh yeah, this is a critical timing for Zhanhun here. Like 6 gateway units versus like not enough for Dragon here. Just gonna get absolutely stomped out of this series 3-0. It's really unfortunate for him. I'm sure he wanted to have a better showing here, but unfortunately Zhanhun's experience just shining through and taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, man, Zhanhun just being a bully, looks like. But yeah, he took a very convincing 3-0 series there, definitely showing, you know, why he's made it this far, why he's such a tough competitor, and he'll be our first player to move into the winter bracket semi-finals.
Yeah, he's taking a quick 3-0 lead, and he's taken Dragon's lunch money.
Yeah, so he will face off the winner of our next series, DeWalt and Zeke, right? Definitely a matchup like you normally when you're talking about DeWalt in the foreign scene. There's very few folks who can kind of live up to giving this guy a series at the moment. He's truly